Well, well, well. Welcome to the Resistance.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy. Sorry, my intro, I seem to have gone through a little bit of puberty halfway through that. Hello, my apologies. I'm Dan, one of your hosts. Hello, welcome to BRB UK, episode 398 thereof of said podcast. Welcome. Hi. Glad you're doing alright. Me? I'm a solid 7.5 out of 10. Talking of solid 7.5 out of 10, Coleman!
Hi! I think you're about 30 years too late for puberty, my friend.
I know, right? It's shocking. All you need to do is find reruns of Games World on YouTube, and you can hear me go through a similar process. And there's also Tim.
Eating my dust.
And there's also Tim Hibbs. Say hello, Tim Hibbs.
Hello, Tim Hibbs.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm alright.
You really don't sound convinced.
No. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Well, you know, as good as can be in certain circumstances and such times.
Elaborate.
I don't know if you heard of this little thing called COVID-19.
That's been going on a while. I assume there was something else.
General state of the world.
Hey, look. If it's, I'm just happy that the last infringement upon capitalism has been kicked into touch, and now Donald Trump can use the Oval Office to advertise crappy goods. I'm just happy about that.
At least he got his Twitch account back.
I didn't even know he had a Twitch account. That's amazing.
Neither did I. No, I think he got suspended for misinformation or something.
I know, right? And I also think, Tim, and you like this as a graphic designer person, I also think the shade of orange that Donald Trump is directly opposite to Twitch's trademark purple on the colour wheel. A complimentary match made in heaven.
Also, he matches up with several shades of blue if he were a movie poster about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to know what he's streaming. What is he playing?
Minecraft.
He's making a giant cock in Minecraft.
He's got Minecraft. He's making a massive wall. He's got his own server.
We could solve a few problems by having him in a VR game where he thinks he can tweet.
China.
Good.
It's been a busy news week, chaps, hasn't it? There's been Ubisofts, there's been Devolvers, there's even been a Stadia. Who'd have thought?
It's like a lesser E3 week.
It is, right? And other interesting late-breaking news that I've just added to the agenda, but why don't we just leave that hanging like a chad on the vote slip of 2020?
Ooh, okay, yeah, we'll get to that, especially considering next week's show. So, guys, before we start talking about Ubisoft Forward, I thought we'd better make mention of this because Ubisoft decided they weren't going to bloody do it. So 3 of the top Ubisoft soft executives, they've stepped down following sexual misconduct and toxic culture allegations. Mm-hmm. So there's been a big blow up again involving this kind of thing in the video game industry. There was a French magazine, I believe, that initially put this big expose out on Ubisoft, which I haven't got the full information on because this, like, the levels this goes into are just beyond me. And I did think about writing a nice little school essay out for us, but the kind of the short of it is Chief Creative Officer Serge Hasco, Ubisoft Canadian Studios head Tanis Mala, and Global Head HR Cecile Cornet have all stepped down from their roles following allegations. So, yes, as the weeks go on, more.
See, from the headlines, I wasn't sure whether they had stepped down because of allegations or stepped down because they had morally chosen to do so.
Yeah, I believe so the Chief Creative Officer and the Ubisoft Canadian Studios head, I believe they had stepped down following allegations. The HR rep, the global head, of HR, he stepped down citing that basically he didn't feel right being in that role while allowing this to go on.
Yeah, that was my reading of it. It's essentially all this happened on my watch, and the only honourable thing to do is to fall on my sword.
If you look up on GameIndustry.biz, they've translated the article, done a bit of an in-depth analysis themselves, and yeah, it's quite impressive, the levels. Like, this goes all the way up. There's a lot into this that's probably we're going to learn more as the weeks go on.
And it sounds like kind of Yves Guillemot the CEO, really is, quite rightly doubling down on this. He's basically said, look, Ubisoft has fallen short of its obligation to guarantee a safe and inclusive workplace, and this is unacceptable, as toxic behaviours are in direct contrast to values on which I've never compromised and never will. So, good.
Right, good statements, but then not...
Yeah, but you've got to follow it up with action.
Well, yeah, and not attaching any statement to a press conference that you're putting out and saying that there's nothing. Could have at least had a written portion at the beginning saying, what you're doing or what the state of play is in some way and what you're aiming to do in the future. Like, in terms of, they didn't say anything in conjunction with Ubisoft Forward and actually made a statement in advance saying that, that they weren't going to do that. I think they could have attached something to it.
The reasoning kind of being that this was all done in advance, so they didn't have this prepared to. And you could have just flashed something up on the screen to sort of go, hey, this is what's kind of going on, and well, we're sorry, we're looking into it, that kind of thing. Even something as small as that probably would have been appreciated. Instead, what they did was they put out a tweet saying that they're not going to address it in Ubisoft Forward, and considering the amount of tweets and social media statuses that have hashtag Ubisoft Forward, all from their own company, with the idea of trying to drum up interest for the live stream. This, which does affect the live stream, is that you're not going to address it on the live stream. No hashtag on there, because then that won't get shared around. You won't see that if you're not in the know, that kind of thing. So it does look a bit shady in that sense. But as I said, we'll probably get more information as the weeks go on, and sadly, we probably will get more allegations as the weeks go on from different companies and what have you. So, for now,
I mean, all I would say is, obviously, video games and the gaming industry and the entertainment industry is something we're all very kind of close to as kind of card-carrying, sad 40-something fanboys. Apart from you, Coleman, you're a sad 30-something fanboy.
What?
And it isn't just the video game industry. I'd imagine this is prevalent across just about any industry you can imagine. And the more this gets talked about, the more it becomes, people feel empowered to actually state the experiences that they had. Good, the better. And this needs to continue. And, people need to be able to feel empowered to air things that have happened that are wrong.
Well, it's a sign that things are becoming more socially unacceptable in the way that they should be, basically. So,
and also in the day, in these day and age where everyone has a platform. We said it a couple of weeks ago. Everyone's got a platform. Everyone can speak out about any kind of injustice. If you have gone this long and gotten away with it, your days are numbered, which is a good thing to see.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
shall we talk about some games?
Hey, I thought I was really impressed with Ubisoft Forward, how the talking people at the mics on the videos weren't at all awkward or anything. That was my favourite bit of it.
Mate, wait till we get to Stadia Connect.
Oh, that was amazing. Hey, look, before I can click and play on that, I just want to oh my God, the delivery was cheesy. Hi, we're here from Ubisoft, and this isn't going to be at all awkward. Here are a bunch of games that we all hope look like this when we finally publish them. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was great. Loved it. Seamless.
Considering you spoke like that as you introed this show, I don't think you should be throwing stones there. Hello.
I'm fine. I am absolutely fine about that. If anyone wants to mock me for the temporary interruption in my bass baritone delivery, then fine, so be it. But anyway, Ubisoft Forward was a thing. There was updates and all kinds of stuff, which, bar one, I think we all really much knew was coming. But being London lads,
bar which one?
Well, I mean, we all knew Far Cry 6 was coming.
Yeah,
that was leaked a couple of days before the show.
Yeah. Indeed. But it was, I think that was the first thing that we really got any kind of new revelations on what the Game Awards. Yeah, exactly. So, but being London lads, or ex-London lads, as I now am, Watchdogs Legion is a thing. It's set in futuristic London.
Getting closer to the dystopian truth all the time.
Where I'm glad to see there is no evidence of the tube trains ever being upgraded. That is good work. Glad to see that's on
Everyone's
point
wearing
with that.
masks and the police force is corrupt. I don't see how this is different.
Yes,
oh,
exactly.
Wait, drones.
Oh, yeah, drones.
Self-driving cars.
Yes, so basically it's Watchdogs Legion is set in, as we say, London, as we've just said, near future London, and there is a kind of an uprising against the control of society as they know it. So they're being cheeky hackers, trying to infiltrate their way into the private military corporation that has basically taken over the security of London. And you want to bring them down because they are bad, nasty persons. And that's basically where it left off. And my God, it sounds, very ambitious, the vision they have for Watchdogs Legion, where basically you can inhabit the small, tiny mind of any NPC you would like and then craft their skills to your nefarious means.
I am excited for this. However, I do not think they shouldn't have opened the stream with the cinematic trailer, Tipping Point it was called, because once I realised that was a film and not the actual game, I went, boom! And then you see the actual gameplay and you're like, it was a pretty good cinematic trailer, wasn't it?
Man, they loved their field of view stuff, didn't they? In that thing, made me feel slightly like I was going to vomit everywhere. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, extreme close up to another thing. But wow, they're being really ambitious, and they're slightly trying. Did they? I can't remember how much they touched on like the kind of new graphical bells and whistles, or whether that was more of a kind of a post hoc deep dive by Digital Foundry. It might have been, but they're
I think really... that was I watched the Digital Foundry thing as well, and that's where they were talking about the ray tracing and shadows and lighting and stuff, and
which is the tagline for this generation, pretty much.
Yeah, ray tracing is the new cell blast processing,
and a new Mode 7.
Mode 7.
It is a new Mode 7. Right here, you heard it first.
The world revolves around you!
Whoa! But I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think being an ex-Londoner, most of the soft spot it's found its way into my heart already is because of, in as much the same way that The Getaway did back in PS2 days, it's a very recognisable chunk of London that actually goes as far north as Camden, which you don't often see, and even just through the footage they were showing, I could very much recognise lots of bits of London that I'm very familiar with, and that's kind of quite cool. But I don't know. I really hope that it delivers on kind of this vision of you can be anybody and you can use your skills to do anything in this game, and the world will actually, I hope it can deliver on that.
I think it's going to be one of those things where like certain characters will be good for certain situations and certain characters will be more adaptable, so it'll be a case of being able to pick the right character for the right situation in some cases, basically.
I have heard
having to recruit them if you do, sort of thing. But
I did hear on a preview show today that, because I think when we were first talking about the reveal, you seemed quite interested, Dan, in the prospect of having an entire Dead Set team of old grannies.
Yes, please.
I think you can do that to a point, because you can have
grannies with different skills.
Yeah, different skill grannies. So
crochet.
I don't think
that's a special set of skills.
One of them is the granny who actually knits shreddies.
You can have like an old retired spy in Hitman. You can have
super grand.
Older hackers and stuff. Older taggers, maybe. Who knows?
I want to see Watchdogs Legion set in. Is it
2019?
No, you dickhead.
December. I don't know. But because considering one of the classes is football hooligan, I want to see if there is an old woman football hooligan.
Well, football hooligans take less damage when they're drunk, they said at one point.
Yeah, there's a pub patron, a bar patron or something. I can't remember what the class is there as well. And literally their special move is you get drunk and you call your mates in to help fight. Which I like, hey,
which is, it just depresses me that's just kind of really cements the stereotype that international people, that all other countries in the world have about us Brits. It's like,
unfortunately, it's not wrong about a lot of the Brits that they get to see travelling to football matches. But
So this is coming out October 29th. We've actually got a date now. That will be on PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox One S, at Series S, damn it, I can't say it, Xbox Series X and Google Stadia. This will also be part of the Xbox Series X Smart Delivery System and the PlayStation 5 free upgrade system. So you will get, if you buy a PS4,
It's a good one for that, hopefully.
if you buy a PS4 copy or an Xbox One copy, you'll get an next-gen copy for the same platform holder for free. That's good.
Does that mean do we have confirmation whether that means you can move your save back and forth as well? Because that'd be quite handy in some situations as well.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
I don't think they've confirmed that anywhere yet.
No.
Maybe Cyberpunk. Not 100% on that. But yeah, it's looking good. I look for, from the preview stuff I heard about as well, it seems like more Watchdogs, different setting. A lot of the American previews don't seem very plussed about the game. A lot of British reviews seem very plussed about the game. So I think we might be enjoying this one. I look forward to getting my hands on it. And apparently by the preview builds that were sent out from Ubisoft this week, this was, last week in fact, this was one of the better, less buggy ones. So that to look forward to. Less bugs. We got another look at Hyperscape, which is available right now on PC, open beta available on Uplay. I don't know if you guys tried this at all. There's no console open beta at the moment either. If you want to try this out on console and you want to get the same perks and everything that everyone's getting for playing the open beta, you can watch streams on Twitch and they'll link to your details and then you can go and get things when the game comes out, which I think is a terrible excuse for not giving an open beta for the consoles.
Yep.
Yeah, like, this looks very Overwatchy, in that sort of category of game.
More Fortnite-y PUBG. It's first-person shooter battle royale.
More battle
set
royale
in
stuff,
digital France. It's very... It's very
digital France.
It is. It's digital Paris.
Sounds like you could get a physical copy and a digital copy of France.
Well, this is because I booted this up yesterday. It's very Ready Player One by the looks of it. You've got a little social hub that's on the world's crap. This company invented this digital world that we can all go to, meet up, hang out. But there's this one game, Chasing the Crown or something, I think they call it. That is super popular, and you can get actual money and stuff when you play it in the game, but have a better life and stuff, which is very Ready Player One, especially in the movie sense.
And there's a deep secret.
Yeah, there will be a deep secret that you have to uncover. When you actually boot into the game itself, so there's like a training area and stuff that you can go to, and then there's like a social hub and stuff you can meet up with your friends and things. Then there's a lobby, and then there's the actual game itself, and you kind of get propelled in these single-person rockets into what is basically Paris. They just don't call it Paris, but it's actually Paris. I played 2 games and died instantly both times.
Well, I'm just glad there's yet another Battle Royale thing, because it's been a good week and a half since one was announced.
Yeah, at least this one's free to play as well.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, all the money's on skins, apparently. But,
not very interested, I must say. And isn't this the one that they leaked the details of to cover up the original scandal? But hey.
I don't know if they did it to cover up the scandal, but the website got uncovered early.
Yeah, I think that's correlation isn't causation there, Tim, I think. But
there are some rumours that it was just, happened to be timed.
I mean, with Ubisoft, you can't really say they've leaked something to cover something up, because they leak everything.
Everything. Exactly.
It's fake E3 week. They have to leak everything. We're not allowed any surprises.
But also, Tim, the chance of them going, oh, yeah, we did do that just to distract you from all the bad... Yeah, we totally did that. They're never going to say that in a month of bloody Sundays.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, yes, you are.
They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt at the moment, in my opinion, because they leak stuff and enough to be possibly deliberate anyway, and then their timing of things is a bit too good sometimes, and this was one of those times.
Mm-hmm.
I did some looking around for Hyperscape platforms, because the information is surprisingly not that available, but so far PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, which I've written as Xbox One X like a dope, but not PlayStation 5. But I'm assuming PlayStation 5 is just not written down anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
I might give it a couple more goes, but the kind of experience I had was boot into the first game. Wow, this looks really nice. I've been killed. Second time, get into the game, run around, try survive, avoid some people, I found some mines. I kept leaving mines behind me. Every now and then I get a thing saying, "Oh, someone got some damage from your mine," and I was like, "Yeah, Mario Kart." And then and then I found no weapons, and someone shot me. And then I went, "I think I'm done tonight. Let's see that. Let's see what Halo 3's about."
Yeah, I don't know. That's my problem. I think, again, it's just a sign of probably my advancing age that I just don't have the cognitive ability to be any good at anything that's a first-person shooter in a competitive sense anymore. I just have to admit, I'm sure this would have been really enjoyable if I was still 18, but I'm not.
I've said for a while it needs age leagues. That's what you need.
Yes,
not
Silver Surfers.
But defined by age. Like, over 40s, we wouldn't be able to play with Coleman, but we'd be able to play with people in a similar age bracket to ourselves.
It'll be much better. And I think the quality of your mum jokes would be higher as well.
I kind of like how Rockstar do it when you go into online on GTA Online. It will go, "I've detected that you're using a controller. Do you want to just stick in a server that only people with controllers will play in this server rather than mouse and keyboard?" Like, yep, totally.
Yeah. There should
like
be more
that idea.
options like that, but hey.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick look back? I have tried unsuccessfully to try and find out the year in which Watchdogs Legions is taking place. But
I know this. It's the same as Mega Man, so it's 2000 and XX.
Oh, 20XX, lovely.
Yes.
But I would like to think if it's set in like the 2030s to late 2040s, we would all be of an age to be pensioners at that time.
Ah, that's why you're so interested in pensions.
I want to know if there's a way in which, if we still know anyone at Ubisoft, I'm not necessarily sure we do, if there's a way in which we could be kind of a troupe of old giffers who can rep DedSec in the mahjong circles of 2039.
Yep.
It'd be great. I'd like it.
I think all our Ubisoft friends left long ago for different reasons.
Be the
Yes.
BigRedBarel resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to be in a video game.
I would as well.
A couple of lines would be good.
Well, that's what we're talking of. You mentioning Halo 3. That's what kind of made me think of it.
Okay.
I think all the Rooster Teeth boys. There was a couple of Easter eggs where you could hear them having a chat in a
and the different difficulty settings
yeah.
that you were playing on, the different more lines you would hear and stuff. I remember
Exactly.
So what you're saying is, Dan, you want to be an Easter egg?
Yes, I would love to be an Easter egg.
I look like an Easter egg.
Like a little. I'd be like the really rubbish toy that's a choke hazard you get in the middle of a Kinder Surprise.
Oh no, they put holes in the things now, so you can't choke
really.
them. Yeah.
Oh mate, where's the fun in that? Where's your sense of adventure and danger that just face planting yourself into a Kinder Surprise? You didn't know if you were going to survive that particular tasty treat. It made it all the more exciting, like you were living on the edge.
Not to derail this fascinating Kinder Surprise tirade
God.
that you're on.
Bloody millennials.
We got to talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Tim knows what I'm on about, right?
No,
we know what you're on about.
We both know what you're on about. We just don't want to carry on about it.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right, Assassin's Creed
Valhalla, November the 17th.
You could be a Viking or a Vi-Queen, apparently.
You spent all day thinking of that one.
No, I actually only spent the last 5 seconds thinking that.
Fair enough.
I'm quite impressed with myself.
I have fallen off Assassin's Creed and keep trying to get back into it and keep falling straight back off again. Like a terrible assassin climbing up the tower to unlock more of the map. I just fall off.
I tried to get into the last couple. I didn't do so well.
I really want to get back into them, but they've had some pretty rubbish technical problems on the PC with like real frame rate hangs and.
So don't get them on the PC then.
Well, fine.
Well, no, saying that, because I said probably a couple of months ago now, I was trying to get back into it and jumped into Syndicate, the London one. Because I was enjoying that, but I had different things to play at the time and didn't finish Unity, and then I went back and finished Unity, and then I gone to do Syndicate. And when I was playing it, I was going, the draw distance on this is awful, and the textures are terrible. So I looked up, I was umming and ahhing, should I buy this on the PC and start again, because I wasn't that far in. And I looked at a couple like ultra settings, 4K video, mods and stuff. It still looks crap. I've been spoiled by looking at Cyberpunk 2077 for 30 minutes, and now I can't see anything else.
Yeah, that is the problem. Well, I think they pretty much gave up on the engine that was powering Unity. I think they kind of came to the conclusion it was a bit of a dog, sadly.
Oh no, they went back and patched the hell out of it.
They did, but it was still never...
When I went back to finish it on PS4, that game worked very, very well, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
Still looked a bit like bum the last time I saw it.
I didn't fall through anything. When I went in the Arc de Triomphe and the lights shining through and stuff, it didn't crash my computer anymore, all that stuff. It worked very, very well.
Well, Viva la Revolution and stuff, I guess.
Viva la Assassin's Creed. We're getting anywhere we can to not talk about Valhalla.
Yeah.
Oh, Valhalla. My overwhelming feeling is this game is trying to be too many things at once.
That's an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, but now it seems to finally they released some actual in-game footage. Good, well done, fantastic, and it seems to be quite an interesting blend of not only you being a kind of single-handed kick-ass assassin, but also kind of recruiting villages as you go, and then using them to kind of build up your forces so you can lead an assault.
It's like Assassin's Creed
city.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but with more with more stabbing people in the face. Really, there's not a lot like an Animal Crossing.
How do you play Animal Crossing?
Yet. Well, yeah, good point.
It's basically just ancient Watchdogs Legion, though. Basically, you're just invading England again, overpowering the local governance.
Yeah, but I don't know. It almost seems like it wanted to be a bit Witcher as well.
Isn't that what they said about Origins when that first came out? They went, the way it's more RPG now, it's very Witcher-focused.
Yeah, I think they're trying to double down on that a bit more with Valhalla.
But I just don't know if I care. Like, I keep on flip-flopping on going, actually, it's Vikings, it's in England, could be fun. But then just going, but it's an Assassin's Creed game again. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Play it for 10 hours and then feel guilty for another 30 years about not finishing it.
I like again, I was listening to a lot of different podcasts this week, and one of the previews for Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like, I like that they've brought back the stealth mechanic of blending into the crowds with the cloak and stuff. I'm like, that's the thing you got to hype now. We're bringing back stuff. But it looks lovely. Apparently, this was one of the more broken preview builds that was getting sent out a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know, if you're still an Assassin's Creed fan and you pick up the installments every time, then this will be for you. If you've fallen off like the three of us, then maybe wait for a sale.
Not many things to climb either in
hills.
There's towers,
mounds.
Oh, I love climbing a mound.
Knolls.
Standing atop a good old Mons.
And I'm
lovely.
Not certain about that whole building the stone things.
The hillocks?
No, the little monolith things that they were building out of.
Well, the Druids? The Druids love that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah.
You have a trundle around. Oh, it's Druidic England. Lovely.
I'm
bit of
just not
Stonehenge.
sure if the gameplay they showed of it was fun.
When you're two simian primates and you're fighting over a bone, and then this big monolith appears and goes, and then you kill the other one and throw it in the air.
Did you watch the gameplay thing they had afterwards as well?
I skim-watched it.
I didn't watch it during the stream. I went back and played it later.
Played it? Woo, Mr. Fancy Pat. Was it like when you were a kid and someone gave you a controller, go, yeah, you're totally controlling that? You were like that, but like, go, pew, pew, pew.
I think you'll find, Dan, with the power of Google Stadia, you can now watch it. Just click to play. Just click to play.
Hey,
simple
click
as
to
that.
play.
That's great, Valhalla.
That's coming out on all the things on November 17th, I understand.
Yes. And again, I think that's getting a smart delivery upgrade and PS5 free upgrade as well. Far Cry 6, that got leaked with quotation marks a few days before the actual stream itself. The most notable thing about this is Giancarlo Esposito is in the game as the bad guy.
And a grenade has 4 simple components.
Doesn't he say like 2 or 3?
No, at the end he says, no, this and Civilization has 2 simple parts. Well, that was it,
because he gets his boy to hold a grenade. He goes, now the grenade is 3 simple components. And then at the end he says a 4th one. I'm like, you're talking out your arse, ain't you?
No, I think he said 4. Anyway.
He said 4. It was like the shell, the pin the... I don't know, but there's no way I would give a 7-year-old a grenade. I mean, clearly, it says on the box, if you read it, suitable for ages 12 and up. That's what all the grenade boxes of grenades I've ever bought.
It's all right, it's a Hasbro grenade.
Oh, right, fair enough.
It's basically a transformer.
What have you told you is a really good grenade and it would help the 7-year-old?
It would help the 7-year-old?
Yeah.
How would it help the 7-year-old, Tim?
To explode things. To explode things, obviously.
To
That's what a grenade does,
things.
Dan.
Right, okay.
Dan,
Good.
he is
Yes.
El Presidente, and then one day the son will be El Presidente. So he needs to hold a grenade and walk around with
He
it.
needs to know what it's like to just wipe people out for no reason.
When I watched it, it immediately made me think, God, I'm really bloody glad Tim's not a dictator, because it was like he'd spend all day explaining how each part of the grenade works, and he would never actually use the grenade. And by the time he told someone about how a grenade works, his presidential manner would have been
now, when you're buying
razed to the ground.
grenades,
Oh,
there's
God.
a very nice menu that you can select the number of grenades that you want.
Yes, so judging by the trailer, and if I didn't know Far Cry 5 had ever happened, I would be very excited for this game because it looks like this very kind of deep political type of take on Far Cry 5. The Far Cry series. When we had Far Cry 5, they did exactly the same thing. They went, hey, modern day America, cultists taking over a town, basically Red State the video game, and
It's
I
not
was
political, Coleman.
no, and I was well in for it. And then when you start the game, it's like, all right, now to make a gun that fires out pink razor blades, and there's a bear called Burger, and it was dumb. It was very dumb. And of course, Ubisoft don't make political games.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No, just do political things.
I mean, I think the problem... The problem is, I mean, it was. Hey, don't get me wrong. It was a compelling story trailer. You know, the unsurprisingly, the acting genuinely fantastic, and it
Good.
sounds like
Face models, good.
Yeah,
good face models.
James Bond intro looked really good.
I count all four parts of the grenade were there, present and correct. I was glad to see that. As were the 2 parts of Civilization. But I mean, again, it's okay. It's an interesting kind of narrative backdrop, but I don't think really we can say anything beyond that. It's going to be a Far Cry game. You're going to be able to set on fire. I'm hoping if it's in a city, there may be hints of the destructible buildings and stuff a bit more than there have been in Far Cry games.
I bet
to
there
date.
won't.
That'd be nice. One can hope.
Not while there's this generation and the next generation. I don't think they will. Even though that's a meme, apparently you can't say that anymore. Yeah. PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Stadia, once again, part of the Xbox Series X Smart Delivery and PlayStation 5 free upgrade. There was a few other things as well. We won't go into them too much, but there's Brawlhalla is coming out on Android and iOS.
So if you want your mobile phone to go, I wish I was Smash Brothers.
There was a trailer for Might and Magic Era of Chaos. Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, because, people keep shouting for another Splinter Cell, and they keep just sticking the 2 fingers up at you.
That was a pretty good rickroll, though, to be fair. I did appreciate the lengths they're going to on that.
Do you like Sam Fisher? Do you like Overwatch? Then you're going to love this on mobile. And then there was a big thing on Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, which they're still aiming for that to be a 10-year game. I believe, again, I think Sam Fisher is in that game in some form of DLC.
I think there's some kind of DLC, definitely.
And also they said that there's going to be a second Ubisoft conference coming later this year.
Is that going to have all the exciting news in?
It's going to have all 3 of the Ubisoft employees who are left, present and correct, to introduce you to all the games that they can no longer finish off making.
There was also some pre-stream news, which I didn't include, and it's all like Just Dance and that kind of stuff. But it was.
Why didn't you include it, Coleman? I love talking about that crap.
But there were not enough dancing pandas in this presentation for this time of year.
What if they brought out the dancing panda in the place of Heath Gilmore, but still had the little lower third guy, Heath Gilmore, CEO of Ubisoft, and he's like, hello, and just completely straight face, he's like, we'll be bringing you more games from Ubisoft, but it's the dancing panda, and no one addresses it.
Instant improvement.
But
I thought overall a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, if this is your... I mean, I know the concept of E3 isn't happening this year. the future is now muddy because of current climate and stuff. And it now seems everyone is kind of, and we'll get onto this in a moment with Devolver Direct, but everyone seems to want their own digital version of E3. They're all jockeying for position. Some are even, like Nintendo apparently, are pulling away from Nintendo Directs, where they're looking to just do what they did with Paper Mario. That was apparently a trial. Just announce the game, see if people go for it. So we'll see with sales and reviews and what have you. But everyone seems to be jockeying for that position where they don't have to depend on the physical press conference, and they can just go for these digital versions instead. Good luck to them if that works. And that means the step that Ubisoft are taking are spreading out their announcements, much like Microsoft are doing, much like PlayStation are doing. But by doing that, you're kind of taking away from the kind of week of excitement we get from the E3 week, even though it is a crap event and has been for a while.
The whole Forward thing did very much seem like it was missing a big announcement.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know if that was just because some things were already leaked, like Far Cry 6, which I wouldn't have cared about that much, but I could see how it would be a big announcement maybe. But
no, these could have been half-hour special videos on each of them. You didn't need to call it Ubisoft Forward. You could have just like, right, this week, here's a big thing on Watchdogs Legion. This week, here's a big thing on Hyperscape. This week, here's a big thing on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you know. And with the extra videos included on those, the gameplay videos and what have you, and the extra stuff that are done through other companies, you could have tied that all in together and made like a big deal of Watchdogs Legion this week or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think that would have been better. But then you can't do that. And that's the other thing as well. Like when your big thing is, and just one more thing, it's Far Cry 6 that got leaked. There was no surprise in this at all.
No, exactly. It lost any kind of impact from that, basically.
I mean, other than you like the surprise of, once again, Ubisoft are crapping on Sam Fisher, there was no surprise from Ubisoft whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, like if they'd have gone, and Splinter Cell, like, you know, new Splinter Cell coming, that would have been, okay, that's overall not bad. But I really thought it needed a headline surprise of actual footage of a game that was coming out that we didn't know about.
I just hope when they do bring back Splinter Cell, just to really, you know, double down on what they've been doing. I hope it's Splinter Cell X Rabbids. Rabbids is what I hope.
That'd be amazing.
Splinter Cell Cooking Mama.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Splinter Cell Just Dance. Crossovers would be incredible.
Splinter Cell, that's what Just Dance the Sam Fisher edition.
Does Splinter Cell have like an iconic theme, like music theme? They could stick Sam Fisher
I think they've...
No, it's just the glasses coming down.
Watchdog has an iconic hat, but I think that's as far as they've really got.
They do like using iconic. They've not done it for a while since it became a meme.
Iconic is 2020's visceral, I think, is where we're going with that. That's going to become the overused word for video game media.
I think it's already been phased out, but hey.
Let's talk Devolver Direct, and not so much on the video games themselves, even though I have listed everything out here in a handy format, but the actual... Did you guys both watch the stream?
I have only experienced all their announcements in the kind of virtual E3, which they totally won, by the way.
Okay, well, we'll get to that later because I've also played that. But,
yes, but the actual stream itself seemed to be trying quite hard from what I've seen.
I liked it. Again, yes, it's building on the previous E3 live stream event things that they've been doing on stage, but now they've literally taken the format of a Nintendo Direct. Like, they've used red and white and they've made it look like a Nintendo Direct, and white backgrounds and talking to the camera and stuff. They are literally ripping off Nintendo for a joke. And a lot of the kind of... So the over-top nature of it does get a bit grating, especially if you haven't watched all the previous ones or you're not into that kind of comedy.
I think it gets grating generally, but yeah.
That's fair. A lot of the social commentary stuff they do, they are literally talking about all the companies fighting one another to try and get some form of real estate in live streams at the moment and taking over what Nintendo have done, which they do answer by literally doing what Nintendo have done. And then some of the jokes themselves, like they have people like Shuhei Yoshida's on this stream. Phil Spencer's on the stream. When they run out of people to talk on the video, they get my uncle who works at Nintendo, which I really like that joke. And it's like one person is like, we've run out of things to announce. Oh, I've got an uncle that works at Nintendo. Right, bring him in. This guy comes on to talk. about a Nintendo trailer. But everyone refers to him as my uncle that works at Nintendo. So he's like the legendary my uncle that works at Nintendo. I like that idea. Yeah, there are lots of cameos in it. I really enjoyed the show. In terms of video games, you had Shadow Warrior 3, which is coming out later this year. No platforms announced at the moment. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. This is the one that Shuhei Yoshida was on for.
I'm quite looking forward to that. That is a battle royale game I think I can get behind. It's like
battle royale
Wipeout.
Mario Party. I like that.
It was more Total Wipeout that I was getting kind of like it's slapstick comedy. Last person to get hit in the head by a massive foam stick that's actually made of concrete wins.
It's got a very big vibe of kind of 90s Japanese game show, which if we tried to replicate in the UK, health and safety would have a field day. But that's coming out August 2020, PC and PS4. I keep getting the name of this one wrong because no one said it. I think it's Carrion. Okay.
I would have thought from the name, but
yeah. Well, it kind of looks from graphical style like Flashpoint, set on a space station where you are an alien stalking prey and killing people and acting like a parasite to take them over, and it looks brilliant. I'm August 4th. I'm picking this one up.
Well, you can actually already, if you've got Xbox Game Pass, pre-download it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Get it preloaded. Right, I certainly have. I was like, oh, that looks exciting. And I keep clicking on it by mistake and it tells me I'm too early.
Excellent.
Story
PC,
of my life.
PC, Xbox One, and Switch. I think that'd be a very good Switch game as well.
Yeah, I think that it looks a lot of fun, and it's kind of, being creative with whatever space hulk or building you're in at the time, and just trying to eat all the humans.
Orja, it's this. So this was the Nintendo trailer they had. This is coming at some point this year. I think they're aiming for like December time. PC and Switch. This kind of looks like if you took Ghost of Tsushima and made it within Dead Cell.
Right.
Was it Dead Cell? The 2D...
yes, yes, kind of. It's almost certainly going to be a Metroidvania, isn't it, this?
Yeah. Looks really, really good. Serious Sam 4. I have not played a single Serious Sam game in my life.
I have.
This does not look good.
Oh, Tim's played one.
Yeah,
Go on, Tim.
Serious Sam is like really kind of... very basic, stupid fun. It's almost like a stripped down version of Duke Nukem.
I was going to say he's like Duke Nukem's idiot brother, and that is saying something.
Yeah, but very deliberately so, and leans heavily into it. And they are dumb fun.
But he's very serious.
Yeah, not great games, but yeah, they are silly. And fun
the thing is, I think the humour in this game is not going to show its age well. Unless it's really massively self-referential and self-effacing. I don't know. I just think this game's going to be
pretty much so.
Yeah, it's going to be like, that's funny, and then like, okay, 5 minutes later, right? What else does this game actually do? Oh, it's the same joke over and over.
Much.
All I really know about the series is I think it was Serious Sam 2. If you pirated that game, then you were chased by a giant metal scorpion with a machine gun tail that would just stalk you to the ends of the earth and get faster and faster and more vicious the longer you survived it, which it's become like an endurance run to try and pirate the game and outrun the scorpion in itself. And then the other thing is they did a Serious Sam VR a while ago, which I remember seeing people playing EGX, but they only had like one copy of the game to play, and they had a giant Gatling gun motion control for you to use, which looks silly, but again, when you have one computer for people to use, then it becomes a bit of a weight to use it, especially when it looks that cool. Serious Sam 4, PC and Stadia, August 2020. And then the last thing which the stream ends with is Devolverland Expo, which is available right now. It's a free game. It's available on Steam. And I really like this idea. They made a game to show off their trailers, and it's kind of a first-person survival shooter sort of stealth game.
It's dumb fun. It's good dumb fun.
It's a very dumb game, and what they've done is they've recreated some of the LA Convention Center where they hold E3, which I think you've got some experience with, Tim.
Yep. I have been there.
It doesn't like to talk about it. You're basically walking around, and they talk about the future has been cancelled, or the future has been cancelled, so the show's been cancelled, but you're breaking in to go look at the show, I assume, and it's taken over by Devolver Digital. So all the booths and stuff are Devolver Digital. So it's E3 if Devolver Digital did everything, and I quite like the idea. And we'll talk more about it later, because both me and Dan have been playing it. But,
yeah, I mean, it's good dumb fun, is what I would say.
Yeah. Decent show. If you liked if you liked some of the previous videos that they've done for E3, then I would recommend checking this one out and then skimming through what you don't like, really, because there are some funny bits. Even though my uncle that works at Nintendo is the funniest thing they had there. Stadia Connect, which I will give them kudos, because they go...
Will you?
I will. They went,
For what?
Well, for one, right, Stadia Connect...
Turning the camera on? What exactly are you giving kudos for?
Right. Stadia Connect, except for the first one, I don't think they ever tell us these things are coming. They just go, by the way, this is happening in half an hour. What?
Yeah.
So Stadia Connect happened. They put up the video of the live stream, and then the next day, I think, or like a couple of hours later, they made a 3-minute condensed video of the stream. So you could just get all the news that way if you need to write it for a podcast agenda. And
was every other sentence, and you can just click and play? Thanks, Brad, for that really interesting thoughts you're having there. I'm looking forward to just click and play.
I have a question.
Shoot me now.
You two both, even though you cancelled your pre-orders, you both did pre-order a Stadia back in the day.
Well, I ended up getting a Stadia because I re-upped with BT, and they just sent me one. It's poop.
When you pre-ordered it, how much was that meant to cost you?
179, I want to say.
No, it wasn't as much as that.
Or was it 149?
I remember it being quite a bit, but I can't remember how much. But good news, the physical bundle's gone down in price. It's now $99.99.
Why would you get... Does it include anything other than...
the controller and the Chromecast 4K.
Yeah, I remember it being less than the cost of the Chromecast, because that's one of the reasons I was considering buying it.
Yeah. I mean, the controller, it's a really nice controller. Problem is, you can hardly use it on anything unless you want to play Stadia. That's the issue with it. It's a lovely, well-made controller, but I still cannot find a compelling reason other than forgetting
you should see a doctor about that.
Yeah, I know, right? Other than forgetting to turn off your auto-renew, like I did, of why you would pay for Stadia. Because really, it's just, I mean, for what you're getting, it's so much money. The game choice is, frankly, not great. The technological hurdles it hasn't overcome yet. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I've said this before, it's brilliant underlying technology, but it just is not ready for prime time in the way they want it to be yet.
And it's a shame it's not at that level, because at this moment where we're looking at 2 new consoles being launched, where it's up to, we don't know what kind of price we're looking at for these next-gen consoles. If you go, here's a thing for £90, £100, that means you don't need to buy a console and you can still play FIFA for your 50 quid a year or whatever it is. And again, I will put down, after playing around with Kinect myself and having a decent internet connection and stuff, I would put down, if I was one of those people that played 2-3 games a year, I think this is a pretty decent alternative to buying a console. And I still think that, and I'll stand by that. If I was a FIFA player and I just played FIFA, I'd probably get a Stadia.
But I'm not sure that the platform is at its best with that sort of game, no?
Well, I don't know, because I didn't have... I mean, again, I was playing... I played Destiny, I played it on my browser, I played it on the TV, I played it on my phone, and I had no problem with that game. I just thought, when I wasn't playing... If I played it on anything that wasn't my phone, it looked a bit ugly. That was all. I didn't really have problems with any kind of frame rate dips or anything like that. In fact, it played faster than on the PlayStation.
The problem is that it's a little bit hit and miss exactly what is and isn't available on Stadia Pro. And you can't get away from the fact that anything outside of Pro, although you might get a little bit of discount, is a product for which you're entirely dependent on Stadia being a thing. I mean, you can say that a lot about a number of games as services at the moment, but you are completely reliant on Google not mothballing Stadia, which, could still happen. The Pro, to me, just doesn't represent a really great value investment at the moment, especially while a number of people are still subject to metered internet connections, which is less of a thing in the UK. But if you're asking someone to put down, like $10 a month or whatever it is in the States, as well as, hey, that unlocks 4K, that means you're going to be consuming 20 gigabytes an hour. That might even fall foul of many open-minded fair use policies as well.
Oh, yeah. Like, over here, that is the big problem. It's a lot of ISPs, they will play fast and loose with what the fair use policy is within the UK, or how it's enforced. Like, I've told the story before, back in 360 days, I had an unlimited connection. I had this super fast connection. And because I downloaded, I think it was 3 games on the 360 in the same day, Virgin Media went, do you know what? We're just going to cap you at 20 meg or something like really low compared to what I was paying. I think I was paying for like 120 and didn't tell me. And I had to find out like a couple of months ago, my internet's been crap for ages. And they went, that's because we limited your speed and didn't tell you. And that is...
thanks.
And that is something that can happen in the UK because I've worked in broadband myself. I worked for Sky Broadband at the launch of Sky Broadband. So I think about 80% of this country hate me as a reason for that. But, people would call up and if you couldn't explain something, you just wave the magical wand and go, whoa, fair use policy. And that kind of solves all the problems because no one knows what it means.
Yep. But I mean, I think that's one of the changes. And then kind of bundling in the fact that the prices just are insane on Stadia, even more so when you bear in mind there's no you never own a physical thing at all, ever. You don't even own like the locally installed copy, or you don't own it technically. You have a license to install it locally.
I've got some news for you. You don't
own any video games
either. No,
you don't. I know. No. You own a license.
You know that Destiny game you like, and how much money you've put into that game. They can just shut it down tomorrow.
You've never owned Destiny, Dan.
But I think the real
that
challenge...
money we put into Marvel Heroes.
Yeah, how's that working out for you? But I mean, the fact that like games cost 60 quid when you can pick them up on any other platform for probably half of that price. It's just I just don't get what Google's play is on this and how they think they're structuring the service in such a way that makes it a kind of a compelling value add for customers. It doesn't. I cannot. They missed the opportunity with styling themselves as a Netflix of games, which Microsoft, frankly, is now capitalising on and taking their lunch money.
And I think they could have. They seem to be aiming for all the big games and getting in with Ubisoft and everything. And I think they would have been better off doing a Netflix model of smaller games, getting like their exclusive like Orc Must Die and stuff, and that would look like a good service right now. As it is, it seems like a really patchy service that doesn't quite serve big games, doesn't really serve little games, isn't really anything. And I don't know about you, there's nothing in the list of stuff that they announced that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a game I must own a Stadia to play. No.
And again, you're always going to come up against a problem of lag. And, there are certain types of games which lag isn't really a problem, like kind of Civ 6, for example. There's no Twitch reaction to that. It doesn't matter if there's, a couple of hundred milliseconds of delay. But in everything I've ever played on Stadia, I've been able to notice the lag.
Okay. I forgot to add this to the lineup in the agenda, but Elder Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls Online comes to Stadia. That seems a perfect fit for Stadia.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been your once a month crapping on Stadia. I don't have a jingle, but here's an apt sound tone. There you go.
That's actually a 14400 board handshake. Which is
it's good. Right, okay, I'll burn through the Connect stuff because we're running low on time already.
Yep.
Orcs Must Die 3, that is a Stadia exclusive. It seems to be the one thing they've been hanging their hat on since the announcement of Stadia. They put out a launch trailer because it's now available, and if you have Stadia Pro, then you get to play it as part of that subscription. I will not say for free, I refuse. Outcasters. This is a cute-looking game where you cast fireballs at each other and they can bend around corners and stuff, and I like the look of it. It reminds me of Bomberman. That's coming out later this year. It's a Stadia exclusive as well. And speaking of games of Outcaster's style, Super Bomberman R Online proves that Konami is still making games.
Who are they?
Still
Who?
porting games, at least.
Oh, they used to make something called Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my god. Metal Gear. Metal Gore.
Speaking of which, so this game comes out fall 2020. It'll be available first on Stadia and then come to other games. This looks like Bomberman R that came out on the Switch, but a special online version.
Yep.
You can customize your characters, and you can have a little Bomberman that looks like Solid Snake.
Oh my god.
That's kind of sold this game to me immediately. There's a game called One Hand Clapping that will be, it's available right now on Stadia as part of early access. And that's coming also.
One hand clapping.
Yeah, sound of one hand clapping. That is also coming to PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Android, and iOS.
I just think the sound of one hand clapping is just a very apt tagline for Stadia.
Oh, kick them when they're down.
Anyway.
Other stuff very quickly. NBA 2K21 coming out fall 2020. We knew that already. Dead by Daylight will be on Stadia on the at some point in September 2020. That will be also cross-playable with all the other versions of Dead by Daylight. I like the licensing stuff they do. They showed off the Pyramid Head and the Gorgon from Stranger Things in that game. I like the look of that. Hitman 3 is coming January 2021, and also to celebrate that, Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 will be available from September the 1st. Serious Sam is also coming in August, as we said earlier. Outriders will come at some point this year. It's touted at December at the moment, I think. The baffling WWE 2K Battlegrounds is coming out on the 18th of September.
Hey, why not?
PGA Tour 2K21 August 21st. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
That is going to be
2020.
so frustrating to play on Stadia. you think it's frustrating enough when you've got playing it locally. Just wait until you've got lag in that.
If you play it on your phone, it will be grand.
Just think, you can blame every death on lag. You could just go, oh, that was me.
That's what I do with online shooters anyway.
Yep.
Like, no, hacks and lag.
Hacks and lads.
Hacks and lag.
I'm thinking of double dipping on Sekiro.
Really?
Yeah, PC.
Nice.
Hello Neighbor comes out on September the 20th, followed by Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek Holiday 2020.
Not one of those things is particularly exciting. No? Like, it's all like, hey, we have an announcement. We have a game that's already been out for years, coming out not today, or not tomorrow, or not even very soon.
Hey, but you can click and play.
In 3 months' time.
There was a lot of that, and there was the woman who, I can't remember the name, escapes the life of me, and she kept driving home, hey, if you're watching a YouTube video and you're like, I like the look of that game, I can just click and play. But the way she kept phrasing it, and I swear she must have said it 4 or 5 times, when you're watching your favourite streamer and they're playing Fortnite on Stadia, you just click and play. None of my favourite streamers play anything on Stadia.
No, well, I mean, bless her, it was a bit that kind of took me back to when I was a kid, and like your mum would pop your head round your door and go, are you winning, dear? Yeah. She kind of had that kind of persona about her. Very sweet, very wholesome woman, but yes, didn't necessarily scream the bleeding edge of video gaming entertainment to me.
A little while ago, we were talking about Fortnite on Stadia, and we had a
Fortnite.
I think we had a streaming plan where one of us would play it on Stadia. Well, that would be Dan. Dan would play it on Stadia, Tim would play it on Switch, and I'll play it on mobile, and we'd try that way. Apparently, I was watching a video the other day, and they were talking about the kind of the back end of Fortnite and how matchmaking works and stuff.
The back end of Fortnite.
If you play it on Switch, apparently you get predominantly matched up with people who play on mobiles and vice versa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So sounds quite good fun, actually.
Anyway, this is your E3 weekend. What a wet fart.
Yeah, absolutely. Which much like the back end of Fortnite.
Doesn't stop there though.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there. There's on one other little bit of news from Microsoft, which I think is probably leaked out a little ahead of time. This sounds like something they would have liked to have kept for their event next week on July.
Leaked out, you said?
23rd. Leaked out like leak like a
little bit
colander.
of wee's not going to stop me being me.
Well, hey.
Okay.
Slightly different melody, but, can be used for the same purposes. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, so Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is the thing we all know about, and as I believe we all predicted, come September, it's going to be a one-stop Xbox shop. It's going to include games with gold. It's going to include Xbox kind of Game Pass Ultimate, and it's going to include Project X Cloud. So it is going to be £15 a month, absolutely everything you could want. And frankly, the way they're putting this together, £15 a month is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but I genuinely think you're going to get a lot of great games, and the fact that you can pick up where you left off if you're playing it streaming, and you kind of know that you only have to, I think the thing is, and we've said this before, when you're streaming a game, if it's like, okay, well, because I'm away from home, I'll put up with the slight lag in streaming because it means I can still actually make progress on the game in the full knowledge that you can enjoy it in its full fidelity at home. But I think, it really is shaping up to be a really, really compelling offering, Game Pass Ultimate.
See, for me, this is a best of both worlds that Stadia does not offer, no?
I'd be interested to see how it works, because the beta version of xCloud is they have a selection of games for you to pick from and play, and it's just whatever's available. I'd be interested to see if that's going to be part of the games that you have available, much like GeForce Now. You can play through cloud gaming, or is it stuff that will be available on Game Pass, or if it just carries on with the same model? Because, I mean, you got some bangers on there. You got some, you can play the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves. You can play Gears of War 5, and Tekken 7. But then you still got some games that aren't so great on there.
Yeah, I think the way they will do it is, I think they're going to probably. There we go. Look at you. Coleman's flashing up a phone with he's got some kind of strap on his Xbox controller. There we go.
That's how I play Project xCloud.
With the strap on. Lovely. Glad we cleared that up. Excellent.
Didn't know it got you that excited, Coleman.
I've completely forgot what the hell I was going to say.
Now we know what the X stands for in xCloud.
Yeah. Yeah, it would make sense if they made the games that are available to stream on xCloud the same ones that are Game Pass. I think it's probably the way they'll do it. Initially, anyway.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming that they will mention more of this next week when they do the big the next big Xbox conference thing. Although apparently there's rumours that's literally just going to be Halo focused.
No bad thing.
Yeah, but we're hungry for information on Xbox Series X. We want more than just Halo.
Well, yeah, but hopefully they'll use Halo to show off Xbox Series.
I think I'd be really great if Sony and Microsoft finally stop this silly game of chicken that they're playing about who's going to blink first in terms of release date,
I like it.
and price. It would be nice to get some idea of price at some point.
I want this to be it Dreamcast or Saturn that this happened to, where they basically went, here's the price and it's out today, and all the stores went, what? We haven't got any in stock.
Do you think it's going to be a case that one of them's going to go, all right, $399, and then like within 5 minutes the next one goes, all right, $398.
Yeah, it's what it's going to be. It's going to be lowest bidder wins. So anyway, that's a lot of stuff to get through, and we're not yet done, chaps. We've still got to talk about what we've done played.
We've only just begun. Dan, you said you played Devolverland Expo, and I also played Devolverland Expo.
No, I mean, it's it's essentially a virtual E3 conference hall, as Coleman said, taken over by Devolver. There's randomly security bots there. You got to shoot everything with a t-shirt gun, because why not? And actually, you can. Have you found it? If you shoot the mannequins with the t-shirt gun, it puts a t-shirt on them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I was shooting ones that were already wearing the t-shirts. They were just wobbling a bit.
No,
Right.
like if you find an al fresco, one with a bit of an al fresco situation going on, you can put a T-shirt on and cover up its dirty flashing bits. That's what you can do.
I'll give it this. When you fire the T-shirts, they kind of fade into obscurity they like shrink down and disappear pretty quickly. But if you do spot one, they look really detailed. Like, you can see the thread count on them and stuff. It's very impressive. But this is made by the same guys who made Shadow Warrior 3, or are making Shadow Warrior 3. So there's you can see it's done in the same engine. It has a very similar look to it. And also when you go to the Shadow Warrior 3 area,
thing.
I guess. Exhibit, that's better.
Booth.
Well, no, what do they call them? Experiences.
Both experience.
Yeah, so like when you go to the Shadow Warrior 3 experience, it's the most impressive looking one out of the lot. So
Yeah. So basically,
No surprise.
just to kind of give you an idea what it is, it really is like a virtual. It's like a virtual kind of gaming expo. You got to wander around the whole thing. There's security bots there because reasons. Why not? You got to gamify it somehow. But you kind of every objective is essentially go to the booth, watch the video, complete that marketing objective. Because clearly that's, you've got to be zany and wacky about these things, clearly. But I thought it was a really interesting way to kind of actually release the news about these games.
Sounds like a good idea.
I thought it was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The humor it was very unlike the humor that is in the actual stream itself, and more kind of Portal-esque. It's done through an AI announcements coming to you, and they get kind of more aggressive the further you get into the game. I like that. You have a big boss to fight at the end. That was nice. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was free, and I will put this up there with PT as the kind of surprise announcement marketing ploy that has actually worked out really, really well. And as well, it's kind of genius because people will watch that thing. They will talk through it and stuff, do their streams and what have you, and then they'll go off and play the game and they'll live stream that. And you have to mandatorily watch at least part of the trailer of the game that they're advertising. So that'll also get streamed out as well, which if you're a bit rude, you probably have monetized that from the original creator, but you've got advertisement out there extra. So, hey.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. So anyway, we've done played that. The other one literally won't take long. The other thing I've done played. Fallout 76.
What? Why? How? And other questions.
It's free on Game Pass. Me and Cole.
Is it? Is it, Dan? Is it, Dan? Is it, Dan?
It is a bit. Well, free. It won't. I put it this way: you won't have to part with any more money than's already been prized from your still
on
twitching
Game Pass,
wallet.
is it, Dan? Available to play, is it, Dan?
Well, it was eventually for me after I turned my computer off and on again several times. Reinstall. I only had to reinstall it once, I think. Yeah, it's a hot dumpster fire mess of a game. It's I had fun
I'm not sure it's worth the
creating
downloading time.
Well, I had fun creating a really ugly person.
Hello.
And then I thought, all right, I should take this ugly person out into the world. And yeah, actually making a really ugly person was more interesting than playing the game. That's all I'm going to say.
Bullying Coleman, please.
It is. The game is bad. It's a bad game.
Can you stop bullying the game, please?
Bad game. Coleman, how was your experience with it?
So I installed the game and then I clicked the icon and it said, the app is broken. Please uninstall and reinstall. And I went,
Great,
okay.
lovely, brilliant. Okay, did
I
that.
went, radio skip. So I uninstalled, I reinstalled, and this time it loaded up and it went, your profile is not authorized to play multiplayer games. I was like,
bad, naughty Coleman.
So I'm pretty sure I paid for my Xbox Live. Let me just double check. No, yeah, I can definitely. Okay. So I uninstalled and reinstalled the game, and this time it said, what was it? The servers are not available. And I was like, servers are down. Yeah, I was like, well, it's an online game.
Of disasters.
Server shut down, it happens. Okay, I'll leave it. I come back the next day, it still said server. I Googled this and it went, oh yeah, this is a thing that happens if you don't install Fallout 76 onto the same drive as Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I uninstalled Fallout 76, and then I went, hold on, that means I have to install it on my C drive, and my C drive is an SSD, and Fallout 76 is like 76 gig, you know.
At least it's on brand, right?
Yeah, it's on point.
This already sounds like more effort than worth it to possibly suffer through the game.
It gets worse.
Oh God.
So, I uninstall Game Pass and reinstall it on my D drive with regular hard drive, and then reinstall Fallout 76. And also, sometimes the installation will fail while you're installing, so you have to stop and reinstall again. I got the same error, and then I uninstalled it, and then Dan went, "Oh, I got mine working." And I went, "Right, okay, fine, I'm bloody well doing it."
So how come this is my chuffing fault now?
Because I was annoyed that you got to experience this and I didn't, and I needed video. And,
mate, have you experienced it?
Well, and because you're playing it, I needed video footage for the YouTube portion of this podcast. I did not get any footage. Six times I installed this game, which means 6 times I uninstalled this game. And the best point on the fifth attempt of me,
76 times would have been better, but
on the fifth attempt of me attempting to try and play Fallout 76, I went, "Do you know what? Stuff it. Uninstall. I'm going to leave a right old snotty review about this on Game Pass." And I wrote my review out, and then it went, "Reviews cannot be given at this time."
And I think, like I said on the Discord, it's it's proper like Trump big brain thing. He's like, we can't get bad reviews if no one can leave a review.
That's Nintendo eShop thinking that. Yeah. So the experience was infuriating, and from what I looked at on the reviews on Game Pass, it's all 1 stars. Everyone has the same problem as me. So Dan got the golden goose. Apparently, he managed to get in and actually play the damn game. And bully for you for doing so.
Bully.
Yeah, and I mean, it is just garbage.
A mate of mine swears by Fallout 76, and he's like, "All this hate online is unwarranted," and I just, he got me there.
How did he get? I mean, everyone's my theory is everyone's allowed one bad game choice that they just for whatever reason like, and that could be
one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Bryce.
One of my favourite games of all time is Buster Groove. No one likes Buster Groove.
No, it's a terrible game.
I love Buster Groove.
It's terrible.
So, Tim, to a game that is actually working.
Yes.
Now, this was a last-minute entry onto the agenda. It's called, what's it called? Bridge Strike. Me and Coleman tried to find out a bit more information about this game in a last-minute fashion. Turns out we now have a very in-depth knowledge about how to contact National Rail should your car strike a bridge.
This has nothing to do with any of that.
Oh, okay.
The one thing it does have to do with is possibly of more interest to Dan than Coleman just because of age.
All right, I'm an old well done. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, great.
There's dinosaurs in it.
It is essentially a lovingly put together remake of an old classic. Back in the days when consoles were made of wood. Like if you remember, River Raid was on the Atari 2600, a game I really liked. Wasn't my favourite game, but was like pretty much my second favourite game on the console, basically. It's an old school, old game, and this is a really well done recreation of it. It's kind of got like nice retro graphics, but like does look better than it used to back in the day of very simplistic graphics. And they've added a few more bells and whistles to it, both graphically and in terms of gameplay. The main kind of mode is a game called, it's just simply called Raid.
Shadow Legends.
Just kind of is just 3 lives to go as far as you can. And as much as I can remember of the other game, I think it's a fairly faithful recreation of it. I'm not sure if it's exactly level for level because it's a while since I played it, but like in terms of the enemies and the movement patterns and the fact that you have to conserve and worry about fuel, which you get by like hovering over aircraft carriers, that if you're not careful with your shots, you'll accidentally destroy as well, basically. But otherwise, it's a straight kind of flying up, vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, in the kind of vein of other things that came later. But this was before a lot of the games that you probably know more famously that are based on it, kind of thing. Okay. But yeah, like it's, as I said, it's a really nice, faithful recreation in terms of like taking the essence of that game and making it into a modern game. There's like little like UI elements that are kind of superfluous, but like nicely add to it. At the bottom of the screen there's a little like joystick that moves as you move the kind of joystick and fly around the screen. You start with the original plane that's very much like the first game, like a jet fighter type thing, but then you can unlock more stuff as you go. There's a campaign mode, and whether you're playing in raid or campaign, you unlock coins with whatever you're doing. Like, it's 1 coin per enemy and like multiple coins per bridge, depending on how big the bridges are, basically. And then like those coins you trade in for buying the upgrades to get different vehicles, which was never in the original game, but you get like an attack helicopter first of all that's better at like hovering, and so it's easier to get fuel to refuel. Exactly. But basically they just get faster and more maneuverable as you go. And the initial upgrade, like going from the weapon on the first plane to the attack helicopter, it goes from like a single shot to a double missile, and then the A10, which is the next thing you unlock, has like faster missiles, basically. And yeah, it at first it seemed a little bit slow, but I think it gets a lot faster as you get the faster vehicles going. And it's a really simple little game, but made really well. I mention it because it might be of interest to some of our listeners as well. I paid for it myself, but it is not a very high price game as well. I think it was like £2.69 originally. I paid even less than that because it was on sale at the time and I had like money in my wallet or whatever, but I literally paid less than £1 for it in terms of like, you know, actual extra things. But yeah, like I wasn't expecting too much from it, and it's not like the hugest, biggest game ever, but it's really fun, like pick up and play little blasts. Like there's reasons to replay all the levels because it gives you like an accuracy, and you get like 3 lives per level, but generally you get more medals if you keep all your lives, basically. And yeah, there's, as I said, reasons to play each level to get like a better score, and every time you do something you get more coins that can unlock the other things. And yeah, it's just really simply and well done, and it's a really nice, in the age of like reboots and remakes that are like big games that are getting that done, it's nice to see like a presumably small, well, I don't know if it's a one-man team or a small studio, do a small project really nicely and do this kind of thing. And I think it will be of interest to fans of the original game, basically. So yeah, Bridge Strike fans of River Raid will notice it as that. But yeah, it's a definite homage to that, and it doesn't really hide that, but does it really well. So yeah, I really liked it.
And next week we'll be talking about a HD remake of B-17 Bomber for the Intel.
Yeah. F-18 Super Hornet. That was a great flight sim. That was back in the good old days of Electronic Arts, that.
Hey, one more game to play us out?
Why the devil not Coleman?
Cool. So looking at Fallout 76 on Game Pass not working, I thought I'd play a game that did work, and that's Neon Abyss, which launched on Game Pass and is also available on PC, Xbox, PS4 and Switch.
Ooh. Can I download it now?
You can download it right now, any platform of your choice. $15.99, I believe that is.
I'm gonna bloody do that, mate.
Yeah, but I recommend on part of Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass or an Xbox or a PC or something to play it on, then I recommend getting a Switch version because this seems very suited to Switch. This is a 2D pixel art roguelike-y run and gun type game. Okay. Part platformer, part run and gun. And the kind of premise is you start off this game, you're in a bar with what I assume is Satan, essentially, but in a human form.
Sounds like any good Friday night.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you want revenge on someone, drink this drink, and you drink the drink, and then you are suddenly plummeted into the Neon Abyss, which some kind of purgatory hell type place. And
Purgatory, to be fair, Purgatory is like the waiting room for hell.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Maybe you're in purgatory when you have the drink. Who knows?
It could be. He's just sizing you up. Are you cool enough to be in my gang?
This is a very, not only cool looking game, but a very cool sounding game in the terms of the soundtrack itself and the actual the sound design as well. The way this game works, because it's a roguelike, You've got to run a gun, take down enemies. In some rooms, there'll be rooms for you to pick up treasure and stuff to aid you along your way. In some rooms, there'll be just a bunch of enemies. Some, there'll be like an enemy endurance room where you've got to try and beat everyone to get a really good prize. And then there's the boss rooms, where you have to take down a boss, obviously. Along the way, you pick up different weapons, or you can pick up items and enhancements. I don't know the actual names of these, what they call them, but items usually are grenades and keys. Weapons are different types of weapons, obviously, and then enhancements are things like you can unlock a double jump, you can make your gun more powerful, or you can make it do surprising things. So you could have something that has like homing missiles on it, and then after like 3 homing missiles, it will suddenly, the last missile will explode and shoot bullets everywhere. That kind of upgrade, like really surprising, random, and lots of different upgrades. So it's really surprising what you get. Like in one playthrough I had devil wings, and I could suddenly not only fly throughout the level, but it would allow me to bypass any kind of locked doors, because I could just kind of fly around the locked door and go through a hole in the wall or something. And it just kind of, it made me feel indestructible, even though I clearly wasn't. Another one I had was, I had the ability to, if I got shot, I might not take any damage. But if I did take damage, I took a lot of damage. So if I got hit like twice, I could be taken down instantly. However, I played for like something like 7 levels and was absolutely fine, and then just got hit twice and just got killed. Because all this time I got hit, I wasn't taking any damage at all and was getting quite false confident about it, and then all of a sudden just destroyed. But it is a super fun game, and yeah, again, there's something I really like about this as well. There's these crystals you have to collect. And whenever you pick up a crystal, there's like a glass smashing sound, and it sounds just like a fluorescent light has been smashed. I don't know why I know what that sounds like, but I do know what that sounds like. I was just going to say,
I don't really know, I don't really know what that would sound like.
Why I think you know what that sounds like.
Well, I used to work in a lot of warehouses, so I'm fully aware of the fluorescent light just falling from a strip light in the sky and landing on the floor at random intervals of the day. But yeah, Neon Abyss is really cool. I would definitely check it out if you have Game Pass. If you're into these type of roguelike-y 2D games, then I think this would be a perfect Switch game. Another thing I forgot to mention as well, the Team 17 game. Love Team 17. They do really cool stuff, although I'm a bit iffy about their latest offering of Worms. And as well as the pickup system as well, there's an Easter egg system, and you literally find Easter eggs along the way. Like little bright, colourful eggs that will follow you along in the game. And I don't know how it works, but sometimes you find them, they follow you. Sometimes they'll hatch and there's nothing. Sometimes they'll hatch and there's something. And the things they hatch into are these random companions that might throw bombs or might give you a shield or something, or might just do something to completely F you over. And then they evolve over time, and they can be killed, but they can evolve over time and get more powerful as well. And that's an interesting system. So the gameplay I'll put in this video, like there's a point where I've got devil wings and my gun's doing ridiculous things, and then I've got these like 3 dudes behind me that are throwing bombs and bullets and lasers and stuff in the background, and it's just very, very, very frantic. But once you've gotten over the kind of weirdness of the game, it's very fun, and it kind of weirdly reminds me of what was the Isaac game?
Binding of Isaac.
Binding of Isaac, it really reminds, like when I really got into Binding of Isaac on the Vita, this really reminds me of that.
That was great. That was such a good fit on the Vita as well. Oh, I missed that game.
I think you can have it on Switch.
I don't think I have it, but I think I could have it should the fancy take me.
Let the fancy take you, Dan.
I do like being taken by a fancy, Tim. You're not wrong.
When they started making the next gen versions of Binding of Isaac, they weirdly took away like the smooth cartoony details and made it pixelated, and they were like, it's Super Binding of Isaac because it's Super Nintendo graphics. I quite like that. But yeah, this is a really cool game. Check it out, and you can make your little guy dance. That's nice.
Always good.
Right, we probably ought to wrap things up because this has been a monster of a show.
Oh, it's going to be worse next week.
Oh, God. You're right.
Before we go, would you like some feedback from the community?
I would love to have some feedback from the community.
Okay, so if you have enjoyed this show, you've got weird tastes, but we like that you've liked this show, and you can get in contact with us by doing so on the comment section of BigRedBarel.com, on Facebook.com/BigRedBarel, on Twitter @BigRedBarel, and we also have a Discord there on BigRedBarel.com. You can hit a link and it will take you to it. If not, contact one of us on Twitter. It can probably sort you out a link or something.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we can't go through all of these, so let's pick one each. Dan, do you want to pick one?
Okay, I would just like to, from the Chugnut, thank you ever so much for, bearing this in mind. He's asked a deeply important question. It's about my dust. About how actually what kind of public health risks there are should someone
Eating my dust.
Exactly. Should someone take me up on my offer of eating my dust? What might actually be involved? Does
Asbestos.
does my dust contain traces of nuts? No.
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
No nuts in your dust.
No, there is no nuts in my dust. It was made in a nut-free environment. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do I offer touchless collection? Depends how close you are to me at the time said dust is produced. If you're within a certain range, then yes, it is touchless. But if you're a far distance away and you want to really recreate the dust acquisition process, I do need to come to your house and gently blow it in your face as if you were behind me.
That doesn't sound safe in the present environment, Dan.
It isn't. I'm not saying it is, but they're asking a question. I'm just being honest. I don't want to say, yes, it is touchless, and then be surprised when I come around their house and blow dust in their face. I've got to be honest.
Although I'm not sure blowing is touching.
No, and they're also asking, what food hygiene rating have the inspectors given your establishment? My answer to that is yes.
4... No, 3.
No, yes.
No, 2.
Yes.
2 out of 5.
Yes.
Could you take the dust and mix it? Could you use like a flour substitute?
Could you turn it into a paste? You could turn it into a paste.
You can mix it with some water, maybe milk, some eggs. Use it as a batter so you can deep fry and create a nice crispy coating.
Or is it more the sort of...
wait, are you saying you could combine that dust, Dan, and you could beat it?
Daniel, you in for a beating?
Nah.
Oh, I knew you were going to be...
What's the street price of your dust?
Coming up with something good. The street price of my dust?
Yeah.
Well, it varies by demand, by locality.
Does it have similar reactions like angel dust? Dust?
No, it's not psychoactive, my dust, I'm afraid.
No? Okay.
No. I wouldn't say angel dust, maybe angel delight is probably...
Snorting angel delight.
That's probably what we're talking about, to be fair.
It does sound like you're in for a beating.
Just imagine Dan coming around and butterscotch, angel delight, blown in your face.
I must say, that if you're going to go for an angel delight, butterscotch is the way to go.
That's the best one.
It is the best one.
It's the only one that doesn't taste like it's crap.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for the question, Chocolate. I do hope that I've answered your queries and concerns to your satisfaction.
Good. Tim, you want to pick one?
Fruit flies swarms are actually giant orgies. Discuss. My answer is yes.
No, is my answer. They're not there for the shagging. They are there to.
You don't know. You haven't inspected all of them.
They are there to eat on some tasty fruit, and sometimes a proboscis ends up where it shouldn't. Okay, it's just because they love the fruit so much. The orgy is a secondary thing. They didn't say
they were swarming on fruit. They just said that there were fruit flies that were swarming.
Look, all I know is you can't control the fruit flies. Like the fruit flies are, the fruit flies are wild. The fruit flies, they know they're hunters. They got to eat. They got to meet. They got to have some time.
Also, I'm just going to come in here on some real breaking news. The new Destiny 2 expansion, due out on September 22nd, has just been delayed until November the 10th.
You're the only one that cares, Dan.
Just saying. Breaking news.
Roger me with an avocado and call me Keith.
Yep. That's exactly
That's a weird thing for you to say, Dan, all of a sudden.
Is it, though?
Unprompted.
Is it, though? Is it?
Entropy!
I will pick one.
All right.
Ooh.
I had
I've
a
seen
really good one I
one.
wanted to pick, but I remembered this one, so we probably should answer it.
Okay.
Northern Monkey on Twitter, he said, I have a question. Someone said last week that devs had kicked off about NVIDIA GeForce Now because it would cost them money, but surely the game is already in your Steam library. They've already had their money off you, so they're no worse off. Or am I confused? So
I'm confused.
I wasn't saying that it will cost them money to have it available on GeForce Now. It's that I think they were more concerned they weren't getting a slice of the pie from GeForce Now being on that platform, so they retracted having their games pulled.
Right. Yes.
I think that was it.
I think it's they can't make an additional sale, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Which, is their prerogative. They can do that.
Because via GeForce Now, you're essentially logging into a virtual machine which is running the Steam client, which you log into using your credentials. So as far as Steam's concerned, you're playing it on a machine that you own, rather than buying an extra copy from GeForce Now.
The other questions I will tie over for next
There's some
week.
good questions there, though. I've just been reading
There is some
through
good
them.
ones. I think we
good
should throw
ones.
Sky Dark in there because we seem to do them every week.
Okay.
Question of the week: are there any genres you've been put off playing for some reason? Trophies, microtransactions, time, etc.
A proper RPG, just because I don't have the time anymore, sadly.
Well, Assassin's Creed are formerly mentioned through. I think that just oversaturates me with. No, I just can't.
No one
go
likes
for-
being
get bored
oversaturated,
of it.
Tim. You
But
become awfully
also,
moist.
I think more generally, less relevant to something we've discussed before this week. But I think there are games that have got where the genre's got overcomplicated and gone past the point where I find it easy to jump into, particularly more. Talking in sports things like I used to really enjoy American football games, basketball games, a lot of American sports, but as they've got a bit more complicated and as the games have got more complicated, they've got harder and harder to pick up and play easily and have fun with, I find.
Yeah, I was going to say Assassin's Creed because when the series jumped into the newer games, I just kind of didn't follow the interest to there. I will say again, RPGs. I used to play a lot of RPGs as a kid, but as I'm older, I've kind of lost interest because I don't have the time. That's why I will put out South Park Stick of Truth and what was the other one? The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
Those are really good games because they're basically 15-hour RPGs,
Yeah,
which
I really
is
like
perfect.
I keep on being tempted to pick up the second one on Switch with all the DLC, but then
just get the DLC.
Yeah,
the PlayStation.
Yeah, I thought about it. But I quite like to have it on Switch anyway, and then
Well, you're taking your
then I want
Switch.
the DLC.
Stuck at home.
But yeah, it's just a good one to
DLC's
second screen with.
Yeah, the DLC is really good, by the way. I played all those at once. But I will say it's probably 2D fighting games.
And I just remembered my other problem with that is I rented the game originally, so I don't actually own a copy of it anyway.
There we go.
Enough. 2D fighting games, I used to play a lot of, like when I was a kid, my biggest game I used to play was fighting games. I loved Street Fighter. I loved all the Street Fighters. I loved all the Mortal Kombats. And then I used to play all the crappy games like Body Blows and stuff, Rise of the Robots.
Wow. Rise of the Robots. That was a terrible game.
Oh, it was really bad.
Primal Rage.
Especially if you try to play like the Mega Drive version. But like a lot of because I used to play a lot of arcade games, and that's what our fighting games were. They were 2D fighting games.
Yeah.
They kind of had the illusion of 3D, some of them, but they were basically 2D fighting games. Once Tekken came along, and I will put it down to Tekken because the other games were far too slow. It seemed the 2D games got faster. And especially with PAL versions of the home releases of 3D games, they got slower. So I got far too used to the slow games, and now I cannot play Street Fighter for the life of me.
God, I just find that I can't play those games because I just don't have the reaction time necessary for it anymore.
2D fighters because age. And
I wear
convenience.
holes in my thumbs with Street Fighter as
Nintendo thumb from the
literally did
SNES
that.
pads on Street Fighter. Yeah, I remember that.
No. Tim came to mine on the week that Street Fighter V was launched, and I set it up at a party for everyone to kind of pick up and play. But Tim was the only one who seemed to want to play this game, and by the end of the night had worn holes in his thumbs on the PlayStation.
When it
Sounds
stays
about
on
right.
doesn't necessarily help that in a room full of people that haven't played it that much as well. But
Yeah.
Hey ho.
That's all your stuff this week. Let's Oh, sorry, we got a review as well on the UK Apple. What are they called now? Apple Podcasts.
Why not?
UK Apple Podcasts. He said a brilliant podcast, funny, informative, and laid back.
I would dispute
on my money, on my money, on my
least.
mind.
Which one of us is which? Who's funny, informative, and who's laid back?
Coleman's informative. You're laid
Right.
back. However, am not funny. So one of you two is doubling up. Which means I'm surplus to requirements.
I'd say I'm laid back until the point where I'm editing the show. Then I'm screaming and swearing for about 5 hours.
Excellent.
Good.
Right. Thank you so much for your reviews. If you do feel compelled to leave one on your podcast listening platform of choice, we would love it if you do so. So it helps us climb those charts and help introduce new people to the wonder that is BRB UK.
Would you like to know the best place to leave those reviews?
Yes, please.
Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Podchaser, and Stitcher. I will see all of those 4 platforms because they go on this special report thing that I've sorted out.
Can you leave reviews on Spotify?
No. We're now up to 496 5-star reviews.
Wow.
In the world.
Just 4 more to go to the Magic 500 in time for our Magic 400 episode. If 4
Yes,
more people
indeed.
do it, we'll be there in time.
Next week would be episode 399. In fact, it is going to be episode 399. But due to those scallywags at Microsoft, we're going to be a day late because the Xbox Game Showcase literally is going to kick off the second we would usually start recording. So rather than not bring you any news of that, we figured we'll just hang on a day. So thank you so much for your patience as well. And then it is the big 400 the week after that. So if you've got any special messages of funness, do pass them on. Because yes, 400 episodes, that's just mad. We are gonna go because it's far too late. It's 3 million degrees in the room in which I record, and I am a sweaty boy as a result. So it's all far too much information. So thank you ever so much for listening. We will be back next week, albeit a day late, as you've already been warned. And all that really remains is for me to say that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I have been Coleman.
Yes. Good.
In the creepiest voice you can master.
Good. Anyway, we're going to go now. So thanks ever so much for listening. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
So do you get to use the old VR with Pepper Potts? Do you get to?
No, you can rescue her from a plane, though. If that helps.
Not really.
No?
You can help her launch a Goop website.